So Cam Akers is the Rams' #1 back on the depth chart, but chase or fade Sony Michel or Darrell Henderson will outproduce Akers next Sunday. Jeff, what do we think?
Yeah, no, I'll chase this one. I'll chase it from the fact that like Cam Akers could potentially get there if the Rams, maybe fall behind a little bit and they start using him a little bit more in the passing game. Bengals are not good at defending against tight ends or running backs, so Akers could get there from that perspective. But I just feel like the Rams have seen enough with Cam Akers running the ball the last 2 weeks. I mean, they just about blew them out of the playoffs single-handedly against Tampa Bay, and then he's just produced like 3 yards per carry on 1 million carries over the last 3 weeks as well. I think you're going to see Sony Michel pop up more in this game than people realize. I think you can even see him pop up in the red zone. So from a fantasy perspective, I'll chase that Sony Michel does outproduce Cam Akers, because I think there's a good chance you see a Sony Michel like red zone, inside the 5-yard touch. And if that results in a touchdown, I think that'll push it over. Cam Akers just has not done much to move the ball. So there's no explosive plays coming from Cam Akers. If he gets there, it's because he got 20 touches again, and he got like 5 catches for 20 yards or something. So I think this one's worth chasing. I think Sony Michel is worth chasing this week. I like him in the touchdown prop category as well. Anytime scorer plus 240.
All right, Steve, in 3 games, Akers has 54 runs for 151 yards, 6 catches for 62 yards.
Yeah, elementary math says that's not very good.
Nope.
Right? You get all those carries, you get all that volume, and you're only producing that amount of yards. I mean, Cam Akers, it's a great story that he's come back on the field, but we can't all say here with a straight face that he's doing what the Rams offense needs him to do. He is not producing. To be fair, Sony Michel took the ball 10 times in that last game against the 49ers, 16 yards. I thought these guys are running backs. They're not doing anything but not run. They're not running the ball efficiently at all. So, Jeff's saying that maybe Sony Michel gets more involved. I mean, maybe that's the case. I mean, he was obviously much more productive when Cam Akers was off the field, but, we're pulling hairs here. I mean, it's not like Sony Michel is like this, the Derrick Henry in the wings or something like that. Like, they're both average quarterbacks at this point. Cam Akers is the much more talented back, but he's just not ready to play yet. I think it's fairly clear at that. And then Darrell Henderson, look, all they're going to do is change him from street clothes to a uniform if he's lucky. If they activate him, he's not going to see the field, maybe one or a couple handful of snaps at best. But I think at the end of the day, maybe Sony Michel does get a little more looks in this game.
All right, Pearce, what's your take on this?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I'm going to chase Sony Michel, but I'm not really excited about it. It's more just not believing in Cam Akers. He has not looked good. And you're going to hear about the fumbles. We've talked about the fumbles all postseason. You're going to have to hear about it for a whole other week. But if a guy's fumbling the ball, he's probably not going to get very many goal line works. Those are more than likely going to go to Sony Michel. Maybe Akers gets work, but then again, Akers hasn't practiced this week. He's now got a shoulder injury as well. So maybe he'll be healthy by game time, but if I'm Sean McVay, I probably want to go with the running back that's been practicing the last 2 weeks, who's been, practicing the game plan, might be more prepared for the game. And then if you look at what Cam Akers has done in the postseason, 2.8 yards per carry, maybe you look specifically at the last game against San Francisco before he got injured and say, oh, well, those numbers aren't that bad. Well, if you take out his 14-yard carry against San Francisco, his numbers drop right back down to 2.8 yards per carry. That's just not exciting. That's not getting it done. Might as well give Michel a look.